Muhammad Ali, revered around the world as a fierce warrior, a symbol of courage, and the greatest of all time. Yet behind the roar of the crowd, there were shadows that even the fiercest light could not reach. In this video, we uncover the darkest secrets of Ali's life. Hidden scandals, covert betrayals, unspoken regrets. These are not stories of triumph. These are truths too raw, too contentious, and far too buried. Stay with us, because what you are about to discover might change everything you think you know. Ali desperately wanted to be a movie star and almost landed major roles in the late 70s and early 80s. However, producers backed out after tabloids revealed Ali's infidelity scandals, including a well-documented affair with a teenage model that never made the headlines. His biopic, The Greatest, where he played himself, bombed at the box office, and some industry insiders whispered he was too controversial to be bankable. Despite earning over $80 million during his career, Ali was on the brink of bankruptcy by the late 1980s. Lavish spending, unpaid entourage, dozens of cars, gifts to strangers, and multiple failed investments drained his finances. His third wife, Veronica Portia, revealed in later interviews that at one point, "We were borrowing money just to keep the lights on." He eventually signed merchandising and appearance deals to stabilize his finances, but his fortune had nearly vanished. Ali's verbal abuse of Joe Frazier is well known, calling him an Uncle Tom, but what's not known is how serious and personal the feud became behind the scenes. Frazier's son claimed that Ali once threatened to hurt Joe's family if he refused a rematch, although no proof was ever made public. Frazier, who financially supported Ali during his exile, later said, "I helped him, and he turned me into a joke." Their rivalry haunted both men emotionally for decades. One of Ali's most iconic stories is about him throwing his Olympic gold medal into the Ohio River after facing racism back home. But years later, biographers discovered that no one actually saw it happen. There's no confirmed witness, and some believe Ali lost the medal and invented the story as a symbolic gesture. While powerful, it reveals how even some of Ali's greatest legends were crafted narratives. Muhammad Ali was under constant FBI surveillance, not just for his ties to the Nation of Islam, but also for his anti-war activism and global influence. Declassified files revealed that the U.S. government feared he could start a global rebellion or rally black revolutionaries within the United States. J. Edgar Hoover called him a destabilizing figure. Phone taps, informants, and stalkers were used to monitor his every move, even after retirement. Ali's global fame got him invited to meet leaders across the world, but some of those meetings were shocking. He met with Saddam Hussein, Mobutu Sese Seko, and Ferdinand Marcos, and was used in propaganda images. In one trip to North Korea, he was reportedly asked to promote peace, but was instead used as a political pawn. Ali's fight against Larry Holmes in 1980 is often viewed as one of the saddest nights in boxing. But what many don't know is that he could have died that night. Doctors warned him weeks before the fight that his reflexes and brain function were severely impaired. The Mayo Clinic advised against fighting, but Don King and others convinced him with an $8 million payday. In 1975 and again in 1980, Ali attempted comebacks at ages 33 and 40. While struggling with declining reflexes, he was pushed by promoters eager to cash in on his name. His final fight in 1981 against Trevor Berbick ended with a humiliating knockout in round 10. Yet the shocking secret, insiders say he was pressured into the bout despite doctors warning it may exacerbate his neurological decline. Months later, he retired. The damage was irreversible. His final loss followed him into retirement. During training camps, Ali would often spar with young, unknown fighters. But insiders say Ali sometimes beat them so severely that sessions had to be covered up. One former sparring partner was allegedly hospitalized, and some even quit boxing. His camp often destroyed sparring footage to protect his image. These weren't just training sessions. They were punishing, sometimes reckless exhibitions of dominance. Ali married 4 times and had multiple affairs. What's shocking is the number of out-of-court settlements he allegedly paid to mistresses who had his children. Though he acknowledged some publicly, others were silenced with cash settlements, non-disclosure agreements, and gag orders. At least 2 paternity lawsuits were settled quietly without court proceedings. These scandals were buried by his team to maintain his public image. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Ali reportedly battled with prescription drug dependency, not substances sold on streets, but powerful painkillers and sedatives prescribed after surgeries and injuries. As pressure mounted to stay in the spotlight, Ali endured sleepless nights and severe pain. Anonymously, some aides admitted to supplying him narcotics to help him sleep or cope with relentless media demands. Family members warned it nearly claimed him. Yet Ali maintained his public persona, continuing to train and perform at elite levels. This hidden dependency almost cost him his health and his reputation. Ali was more than a boxer. He was a political firebrand. His opposition to the Vietnam War and his conversion to Islam made him a target. FBI files later declassified show Ali was under constant surveillance from 1963 onward. Agents posed as bodyguards and handlers. Letters, phone records, and personal visits were logged. He was monitored by up to 7 government agencies. His suspiciously sudden fines, license suspensions, and canceled bouts suggest deeper interference from intelligence operatives. An orchestrated attempt to sideline the man who dared to stand and speak. The world saw Ali as a peaceful, smiling figure in his final years, but behind the scenes he was suffering in silence. Friends said he could no longer speak, cried often, and sometimes forgot his own name. His family debated over how much of him to show in public, especially at events like the London Olympics torchlighting, where he struggled to hold the flame.